Hi kids, good morning all of you. Myself Jyoti, welcoming you all to the English class. Okay, today we will be studying about a great man. Okay, I want all of you to open the page number 53, Unit 3, Values. Kids, I want you to open the page number 53 and I want all of you to read along with me. Okay, now let's start the chapter together. This chapter is all about the conversation between Gautama Buddha and King Bimbisara. So, let's start the chapter. Gautama Buddha was one of the greatest men the world has known. He was a reformer. He was kind to men and animals. Anyone who saw him at once became his follower. Kings and common people honored him. So he was honored by kings as well as the common people. Gautama Buddha was born as Prince Siddhartha of Kapilavastu, now in Nepal. At his birth, astrologers predicted that he would either be a great emperor or a great ascetic. Okay, so Buddha was born as a prince, and his name was Siddhartha. He was from Kapilavastu. At his birth, astrologers predicted that he would be great emperor or a great ascetic. So, what do you mean by ascetic? He is one who lives a very harsh life of extreme discipline. Okay, let's get through. Siddhartha was a kind young man. He thought that world was full of pain. He looked for way of removing the suffering of people. He left his home when he was 29 years old and became a wandering monk. So, Siddhartha was basically a prince, and the astrologers at his birth predicted that he would be a great emperor or a great ascetic. Siddhartha was very kind young man. He thought that the world was full of pain. He looked for a way of removing the suffering of people. He left his home when he was 29 years old. Why did he leave his house? He left his house and became a wandering monk. Why did he leave? He wanted to remove suffering of people. So when did he leave? He left his house when he was 29 years old. Coming to the third paragraph. After leaving home, Prince Siddhartha reached Rajgriha, the capital of the great kingdom of Magadha, modern Bihar. He was now living as a wandering ascetic. He had cut off his beautiful curly locks and given away his gorgeous silken robes and precious jewels. He was dressed in ordinary saffron robes worn by those who had renounced the world. So what did he do? He reached Rajgriha, that is the capital kingdom of Magadha, and he was now as a wandering ascetic. He had cut off his beautiful curly locks. What does the locks refer to? The locks refers to his curly hairs. So what do you mean by locks? Curly hairs. And he had given away his gorgeous silken robes. He is, of course, as princes, he would get the silken robes and the precious jewels. He left all those and he was dressed in ordinary saffron robes. So who would wear the saffron robes, kids? The monks and people who have enlightenment. Okay, so what do you mean by saffron robes? Any guesses? It's a deep yellow garment. We can see some sannyasi people wearing the saffron robes. Okay, coming to the fourth paragraph. Even as a monk, Siddhartha looked very impressive. How was he? He was very impressive. We feel, wow, such beautiful person or such handsome person. He was like that. He was extremely handsome and his face and body seemed to shine with golden glow. So how was he glowing? He had a golden glow. He was tall and well built. His voice was deep and powerful, yet sweet and pleasant. Though his voice was deep and powerful, yet it was sweet and pleasant. The look on his face was serene. How was the look? It was serene and dignified. What do you mean by serene? It's sort of peaceful and calm looking person. He had a small group of followers with him. Fifth para, he used to beg for his food. What do you mean by beg? It is like to ask somebody for something. So what he would do? He would beg for his food. He held a bowl in his hand and stood in front of a house with his arms outstretched. He did not ask for food but waited for few minutes and moved on to another house. Each day he accepted food from only one household. So what did he do? He begged for his food. But he didn't he stood in front of a house with his arms outstretched. But he did not ask for food. He waited for few minutes and moved on to another house, but he used to accept food only from one household. So if the house people don't give him, he just calmly moved away to the another, and per day he used to go only to one house. Everyone who saw him was struck by his magnificence. People followed him just to have a longer look at him and hear him speak. They spoke to each other about him and urged everyone to meet him, for he did not seem an ordinary monk. They kept a respectful distance as they did not wish to annoy him. Okay, so what happened? Whoever saw him, they were struck with his magnificence. What do you mean by struck, children? It is impressed. Sometimes we get impressed with something and we just keep on looking at that. The same way, people here, they stuck by his magnificent look. What do you mean by magnificent? A grand look. They were stuck hold by his magnificent look, and they just wanted to follow him, to look at him longer, and they wanted to hear him speak. That was his power. And after that they spoke to each other, like it's like as we speak with our friends and neighbors, they started speaking with each other and urged everyone to meet him. So they wanted everyone to go and meet him, for he did not seem an ordinary monk. He was not an ordinary monk. They could get to know by his looks and his voice. They kept a respectful distance as they did not wish to annoy him. So we get to know the people here were very much civilians. They didn't want to disturb Gautama Buddha. They kept a respectful distance. What do you mean by annoy? They didn't want to irritate him. Some soldiers of Bimbisara, the king of Magadha, saw him and went to the palace to tell the king about his extraordinary men. They said, "O king, there is a monk newly arrived in the city who is no ordinary human being. He seems to be divine. Such is the glow on his face and body, we cannot say if he is God or a man. He is surely a great being." So whatever the soldiers felt, they felt that he had lots of glow on his face and body, and he looked very divine, and they didn't know whether he was God or man, but they were sure that he is a great being. So this is what the soldiers went to the king Bimbisara and told. Kids, now let's go to the next page, that is 54, page number 54. King Bimbisara was interested. He decided to look for himself. He went to the roof of the palace. He saw the young ascetic and his marvelous look. So how was his look? It was marvelous. It was marvelous. He told his soldiers, Follow and find out more about him. If he is not a man, he will vanish as soon as he leaves the city. If he is a god, he will vanish by the way of air. If he is a human being, he will eat the food that is given to him. So this is what the king told the soldiers. They told him, what do you mean by vanish? Vanish means disappear. So the king told the soldiers that if he is God, he will get vanished away with the air. And if he is not a man, he will vanish as soon as he leaves the city. But if he is a human being, he will eat the food that is given to him. So Siddhartha went to the river and had a bath. Then he climbed a hill and ate his food, sitting on a rock outside his cave. The soldiers reported this to King Bimbisara. He decided to meet him. So the soldiers got to know that he is not a god, he is a human being. So they went and they told this to King Bimbisara. Siddhartha was sitting under a tree when Bimbisara met him. So when the king Bimbisara came, he was sitting under a tree. He saluted the young ascetic and said, "You are surely a man of high birth. The harsh life of an ascetic is not for you. I shall give you a high office in my court. You can be my minister and advise me." So what did the king say? I'm sure you're a man of high birth, and this harsh life of begging food and taking bath in the cold river and sitting in the cave. So he felt that no, this is not this is not suitable for you. I shall give you the high office in my court. So what did he say? You can be my minister and advise me. Siddhartha smiled. What happened? Siddhartha smiled. He smiled at King Bimbisara because King Bimbisara didn't know that Siddhartha was prince himself. Siddhartha smiled and said, "You are gracious, O king, but I do not desire any high office. I have renounced the world." So what did Siddhartha say? Yes, O king. Yeah, but very happy that you have offered, but I have renounced the world. So what will the king say? "You are so wise. My heart is filled with love and respect for you, noble sir. I am willing to share my throne with you. You will be the co-ruler of Magadha with me." The king Bimbisara said, as we know, kings usually fight to acquire many kingdoms, but King Bimbisara was so convinced with Buddha. He felt that Siddhartha, that he felt that he's got very good knowledge about the things, and he was ready to offer his throne. That is, he said, "We will be co-rulers of the Magadha." But Siddhartha laughed out loudly. "Ha ha ha," he said in his deep voice. "If I desired a throne, I would not have left my own kingdom. I am Siddhartha, the son of Shakya king Suddhodana of Kapilavastu." So now it was time for Siddhartha to tell about himself. He said, if I was interested in ruling, I wouldn't have left my own kingdom. "Why did you leave home, noble sir?" King Bimbisara asked. "This world is nothing but full of misery. Every creature is unhappy. Whatever happiness is there does not last. I am seeking a path which will free men of their misery. I am seeking enlightenment." So Siddhartha says that every creature here is unhappy. Yes, no, we are so unhappy. We want a cricket bat today. Once we get the cricket bat, tomorrow we want PlayStation. Now we get the PlayStation, we want something else. So our urges never satisfy. We want more and more. So he says, every creature here is unhappy. Whatever happiness is there does not last. I am seeking the path which will free men from their misery. So he was in search of helping people to free men with their miseries, and he was seeking for enlightenment. What do you mean by enlightenment? The true knowledge. Your words, your manners inspire great faith in me. Promise me, sir, that when you have found enlightenment, you will come to my kingdom and enlighten me. My people, enlighten me and my people, Bimbisara requested. So his words and his manner greatly inspired King Bimbisara. So what did he say? "Sir, you have to promise me that you will come to my kingdom and enlighten me and my people once you receive the enlightenment." Siddhartha smiled gloriously and promised. He remained in Rajgira for some more days meditating. So what did Siddhartha do? He sat and he started meditating. What do you mean by meditating, kids? It is deep concentration and thought. Then he left to become the disciple of Alara Kalam, a famous teacher. He learned everything that his teacher had to teach him, but he was not satisfied. He was in thirst of knowledge. Kids, now we'll move to the page 55. Let's move to the other page. He went to other teachers. The prince Siddhartha, he went to other teachers as well. They were all impressed with his calm, dignified behavior and his extraordinary ability to learn. So all the teachers were very much satisfied, and they were very impressed with his dignified behavior and extraordinary ability to learn. What do you mean by extraordinary? Extraordinary is beyond, going above. So he withdraw into a deep forest and lived a life of austerity. So what do you mean by austerity, kids? It is living a life of very harsh and strict discipline, eating very less. So what do you mean by this? He was eating very less, and yeah, it was very strict. He went into the deep forest. Siddhartha realized that causing pain to one's body and remaining hungry would not take him near enlightenment. So what he felt, one final day he felt causing pain to himself and remaining hungry would take him nowhere to the enlightenment. So what did he did? He accepted food from the villagers and continued to meditate. Finally, so what? When the stomach is full only, we can concentrate on our work. The same way Buddha thought about eating not a heavy stomach or eating full. He had little food which helps him to concentrate on the meditation. So he accepted the food by the villagers. Finally, on a full moon night in summer, sitting and meditating under a tree, Siddhartha received enlightenment. He became Buddha, the enlightened one. So, what does Buddha mean? The enlightened one. The day of his enlightenment is known as Buddha Purnima. Since it is a full moon, it is called as Purnima, and that particular day is called as Buddha Purnima. The tree under which he sat is known as Bodhi tree, and the small town nearby as Bodh Gaya. So, the tree under which Buddha received enlightenment is known as Bodhi tree, and it is in a small town, and it is called as Bodh Gaya. Lord Buddha kept his promise to Bimbisara. He went to Rajgriha and gave sermons to Bimbisara and his people. What do you mean by sermons? It is a religious talk. Bimbisara gifted the Venuvana or the bamboo forest for his disciples. So he just gifted a small bamboo forest. He gifted a bamboo forest. We don't know whether it is small or big. It is also known as Venuvana. Gautama Buddha preached for over 45 years. His doctrine spread not only in India but outside too, to the east and the west. What do you mean by preach? It gives a religious talk. Preach is nothing but giving a religious talk. So we are done with this chapter. It was I felt it was very interesting, children. It was a conversation between the Buddha and King Bimbisara. So we're done with this chapter. Kids, I want all of you to read this chapter. And in the coming classes, we would be giving you the notes. Okay, hope all of you enjoyed this session, kids. Thank you and bye.